Be'ezer Hashem, Parshas Vayero Toshin Peivov. Whenever a person wants to dive into the Rebbeinu Shalom, there's always a fascinating gap between the human being that was created and the Rebbeinu Shalom, which is infinite, Ein Sof. A person that starts to daven not only is limited by their knowledge because they're a little person, but they're in a mess as well. That's why they're davening. They're not being matzliach. They're talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom about their issues, which sometimes the issues is the smallest thing in a person's life. The most, it's a metzumtzim. It's a limited narishkeit, what the person is talking about. Imagine a little kid that comes to the Rebbe in Cheder, and the kid is a bright child. He could understand Gemara, Mishnah, but right now he's turning to the Rebbe that someone took his place, or that he had it first. So this is like the schwachste part of the child. The child could do better, but now this is what's bothering them right now. When we come to the Rebbeinu Shalom, our tefillas are about that I'm missing some money. This is not working out. So there's a very, very big gap between you, the situation you're in, and the Rebbeinu Shalom, which is Maloi Chol Oretz Kvoidoi, which has everything. Now it takes the person to a question, to a shaila, to start to think that maybe it's not appropriate. Imagine you have a chavrusa that you're learning with, and the gap between the understanding of the two is so major that it's not a good chavrusa shaft. If you're trying to have a conversation with a person, which the IQ levels between the two are so far apart, it makes it hard for us to be able to schmooze, for us to be able to connect. So when a person is davening, it's something that a person has to chap. Isn't that a chisorn? Doesn't that show on something that's missing in Tefila? Like it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you have people, they say, what, I'm going to tell Hashem about such a stupidity? So the answer is that there's a bigger godless that comes out, that you could see the groiskeit from the Rebbeinu Shalom, that the Rebbeinu Shalom could come down to such a level that shows even a bigger godless. Fakir, it's not a chilul Hashem, it's a kiddush Hashem. Going back to the previous moshel, imagine we would want to test a younger man. He's young, we want to see if he could be a malamed. We're worried because he was too much liach and koilel, and he might not have the tools to be able to explain it to a 9-year-old child. So you're watching, you want to see how it looks, and you're observing how he's teaching the piece of Gemara to a yingel for the first time. If, even though he's such a huge Talmud Chacham, and he's a genius, brilliant person, if he could go and down to the level of this child, and not only with the way of explaining, just connecting to the nefesh of the child and enjoying him, and schmoozing like he would be his age, and slowly, piece by piece, putting the Gemara into that little neshama, that's fascinating. So every time a person davens, there's a Kiddush Hashem happening. Just by understanding the Kiddush. That the Rebbeinu Shalom, which created the world and is being Machaya, consistent, the whole world, which is thinking about everybody, Kaviyachol, could also go down to a little boy that's davening, and listen and understand and feel the pain. Not a joke, feel the pain of the child that someone took it away from him. And that's part of the infinite, that's part of the Ein Sof from the Rebbeinu Shalom, that it goes both ways.
So not so much
Rabbi Yochanan. We see by the Rebbeinu Shalom that when you see the goddess of the Rebbeinu Shalom, Shom atamoitze in v'sanusa. It goes. You see something fascinating. You see a Kiddush Hashem that the Rebbeinu Shalom is almonas and Yesoimim and people that are not so smart. It doesn't go together. I'm just saying every type of tzimtzum. The Rebbeinu Shalom goes pakeret Eshken ve'ezdaka. Eshken ve'ezdaka is a pasuk which explains that the Rebbeinu Shalom is shoichen. The Hashem comes to be with a person, which is now tzibrochen or whatever. So fascinating, that posik. Such a big chizik. The Rebbeinu Shalom is a therapist. Kaviyachal. That means the refuah, the deep refuah, which is usually because the nefesh is tangled up. And Hashem comes in there and opens up the pain and goes there and fixes it. Helps the person that Hashem shicks shlichim or situations or a shefa, which could help the person untangle the mess that they're in their nefesh. If it goes down, you need a lot of patience to do that. A lot of patience. It doesn't go there, it doesn't work, you go this way, the other way, back again, it goes back, you have to go try again. And that's what the Rebbeinu Shalom does. But here comes our part, our chelik in this avodah. It's not only the Rebbeinu Shalom's job, the Rebbeinu Shalom's achrei is to take the shvacha situation and help it. If we stay stuck in it, and we don't open our minds to be able to look at a situation with a different view, it harms the koyach of davening, that the tefillah shouldn't be able to do what it could do. Let's explain that. When a person is in a tzimtzum, that means their mind is now limited. They can't think big. They need now a few dollars. So it's hard for them to think the bigger picture. And it's a very big shot. Imagine a person feels that they need another $500 a month to cover. Nitty gritty, they know they need another $500 a month. So now they're looking for something that's going to pay them $500. And he's out there, he's looking, okay, no, they're only paying $300, it's not for me. So I need $500. Many times, it's a gewaltige baltashchus, because you're looking for a job. Do you understand that there's opportunities out there? Maybe you could have your own business. Maybe you could change your whole lifestyle. Maybe you could now think big, because you were triggered because you were missing $500. But now that you're thinking, you always need to invest in something. So maybe it should be something. It could be you can earn a lot of money. Can sein. We'll see what the Rebbeinu Shalom has in plan. But the problem is the person is not even in touch, because the person is like, no, I just need $500. Now it could be for some people, a lot of people, it's the best thing for them. They shouldn't think big, because they could go into massive choivus. That's what happened last time. You please behave and take yourself a job and sit and learn, don't get tangled up. But it's a shod that the person is not looking around, exploring in his mind, maybe there's other options in Gansen. So a person has to come out to the Rebbeinu Shalom to be able to explore, because if not, a person's like, what should I look, what should I do? But let's go back to the nimshal. A person is davening, and this is what's a very important factor in davening. A person davening, you're coming from your matzav, that you're upset that this happened, and you are so badly want this and this should work out, and your pain is very, very limited, and the whole nefesh is like, I need this and this to work out. But this pain is only a trigger, is only a reason for to get you to talk to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Don't get stuck now and in your heart you should only want that. You should understand, once I'm talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom, let me talk about everything. Let me understand that the sky is not the limit. That's really the taich that the Anoich Hashem Lekecha Malcha Meret Mitzrayim, and because of that, Harchef Picho V'Amaleyu. I took you out of Mitzrayim. There's no limits at all. So if you're coming to daven, if you're already talking, chap that it's not even the appropriate when you're talking about the Rebbeinu Shalom to shmooze in a limited way. It's not appropriate.
So when I need $500, it's not that Hashem wants me to daven for $500. It wants me to come and daven.
If I need $500 and David wants me to come and daven, it means you have an opportunity. I'm talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom. It could be Hashem is going to laugh and say, "Why $500? It's also Shanob and take $5,000." I don't know. Could be it's not good to me to have $5,000 right now. It's going to get wasted. But I'm not mitzumtzim. I'm talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and it's in every matzav that a person is. It's mitoch achno, again, not that a person is like, listen, Tefila is just I'm going to ask for $1 million. That's not the pshat. The pshat is a person is standing. I can't talk to the Rebbeinu Shalom with kids talk. Just because I'm talking to Fakir, to the Rebbeinu Kol Olam, so it doesn't make sense. Imagine there's a big gvir, and you're his neighbor, and he always has fridges and freezers stocked, selig dort, and downstairs, upstairs, in the basement, there's cases always of everything, and you needed a grape juice on Shabbos because the other couple came. You need another grape juice. You're not going to do you have a grape juice? And you came there with a cup, and you're like, a half a grape juice. I thought, no, I don't need. I'm going to pour back a little bit. Could you please stop it? I need grape juice. You need a grape juice. And the guy like a package of tissues. I need 4. I need 4 tissues. If I need a 5th one, I'll come. Would you please stop it? You're embarrassing the person. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You come to a person, fakert. You're being mechaber the person. Could I please have a pack of tissues? That's it. So you're talking to Rebbeinu Shalom with a certain achanoah by understanding. Once I'm talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom, I'm talking to him. I'm saying I'm a little person and this is my musogim. But the Rebbeinu Shalom is big, and ich red wegen this topic. And it's definitely the Pesukah de Zimra, they open up a person's mind. Rebbeinu Shalom created everything. Someone told me that they used to daven, so they skipped not a posture. Then they made a Kabbalah. It was a woman. She used to say Asher Yishtabach. Said from then she says Vayevorach David every single day. She can't skip the words of Yotcho Legade Lo Lachazik Lakoil. I wouldn't give up to say that sentence every single day. It's so important. Yeah, because we go into daily life and we talk to the people that we talk to, and everything has and labels and names and zachen. So it's what's in our mind. It's always good to label something if you want to be able to. You have to give like a name to a person. Who should I say? That guy. So I have to give a name. But when we explain matzav, and we say, okay, this is called a recession. Now we're in a recession. This is called, okay, so in the mind of the it's like a hammer that it's called, whatever it's called. It's just that it has a shpur on the mind of a person to say that I shouldn't be asking Hashem this kufa to earn a lot of money, because it's a shtickle angestreng. I should wait till a different matzav. That in the mind of the person, he's like, I should be happy. You know what's going on in the gas? There's people that are falling apart. So you should be thankful to the Rebbeinu Shalom, but you shouldn't be yourself mitzamtzem in your mind. If that's the case, then it's not fear I should ask Hashem for more. I don't deserve, but it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make a difference. The Rebbeinu Shalom answers Tfilas Leibische Sprach. They say this moshel. Like we said earlier, a person is borrowing a bottle of grape juice. They say the moshel a little bit more murchav, that a person asked, they need a suda for Shabbos. I don't need much. I'll take some challah, some fish. It's only me and my wife. If you could just, we were in the hospital the whole Thursday and Friday, but they reached out to a very belated person. So he picked up the phone and he ordered Shabbos for them. Now they don't know how to handle it. Why? They have until Chanukah, they have food. What's the pshat? He wasn't trying to be funny. It's just when he orders food, that's how he orders food. That's the sprach. When you're talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you have to understand. The reason why you came and the matzav you felt before you davened, and you felt that I understand. That's the beginning. But once you go and you enter the world of Tefila, Rebbeinu Shalom, there's no limits. If I'm at it and davening for seichel, so it's not only my kid should understand the Gemara. Let him understand. Let it the das go here and here. Everything. So to complement what we said earlier in the beginning of the shir, there's two parts. There's when we come with our little understanding. Then there's Hashem, no limits. And it's the first part of the shir was that Hashem could go down to your level. That's a Kiddush Hashem. That's amazing that Abe should come down to your level. Second part of the shir is you should also not stay at your level. You came in the beginning of Tefillah like that. That's fine. But once you're already talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you should slowly say, Rebbeinu Shalom, you know what's best. And you could just make a Salzayin Toiva Nigla. The Be'er Mayim Chaim, I think it's in Parshas Vayishlach, if I'm not mistaken, explains that when a person davens, so in the beginning of davening, Shemona Esrei, each bracha is like specifics. Refuah and Parnosa and Geula. The last bracha of Shemona Esrei, Sim Shalom, is everything. Shalom Toiva Uvracha V'chol Toiv. It's V'chol Toiv. Now this bracha is called the whole Shemona Esrei. But you couldn't start there. But you can finish like that. You can finish with saying that when Shalom, let me just a koil poshut. The Svarim explain that Tkiya, when a person blows shofar, it's just a straight koil from the bottom of the heart. I can't even explain in an oisius. That's how the person davens. Now, this avoida is not only an avoida of b'shas yedaven, that you should concentrate that the Rebbeinu Shalom is unlimited and fakert once you already at it. It's avoida in the mind, the perception. The person should chap that they have to also live in a world that all possibilities are on the table. How do they say there? Kol opziot ala shulchan. I had a situation, it's mitzumtzim right now, but the Eibishter is going to help, and I don't have to understand how and why. It's just amazing. An example to that, before we say an example, I'll explain the concept. The concept is that when people say that, prices of cars are shooting up next month, the mortgages are going to go crazy, or the prices of food, or everything, inflation. A person is listening to the whole conversation. Sometimes it's like headlines in the papers that don't ask. It's going to cost you. A person listening to the whole thing and he says, wow, that's interesting. And the person across you, what interesting. It's a disaster. So you could answer, I don't live there. It was an article about Japan. It's an interesting piece of information, but it's a hotnish mit mir. Because I imagine you say the dollar's falling. Gefährlich. Behemoth, it's interesting. Why is the dollar falling? So he says, yeah, but why aren't you under pressure? He says, because, I tell you the truth, I work on shekel. Chonish mit der Dal, I go honest. Chonish mit der Dal, that's the emes. The Rizki Rav had gesagt, he told his daughter, prices were going up. He said, it doesn't say the budget. If it's the budget, then if prices is the mezoinus, so it's ksuvun loy, how much bread. So I don't care how much bread costs. Now it's hard for a person to fight that fight, but the schar is that a person be'emes doesn't have to be limited to the situations that the oilam is mugbal with. There is a seder from Teva. The question is if you want to be part of that. It's a bechira of every person, and every day again, and every hour again, if you want to be part of Teva. It's like a whole group of guys, they reach out to you, hey, hi, what's up? We're going to Teva, you want to come along? He's like, no, I'll do fine. I'm not coming, I won't be in today. I'm not coming to the Seder from Teva. So it's in the mind of the person, as I'm not living with my imaginations, was ich will. No. But I go nicht with them. Eingelegt with the Seder of the Tzimtzumim. I don't have to do. I have with the Rebbeinu Shalom.
I understand differently when you say b'sech shachali. So, of course, that means I shouldn't be selfish just because. Once I'm down to Hashem.
Fascinating. When we daven for a choile, it's a halacha that we should say that. It's also the nusach in the davening. You should, if you daven a specific choile, which we're allowed to add in Shmones, a lot of Sidurim have it. You add, Yirotzim Fanecha, that this and this specific choile should have a refuah, b'soich sha'ar choile Yisrael. So it looks like the only reason for that addition is that if you're already davening for yourself, don't be selfish. You're already davening for everybody. But the emes is that once you talk to the Rebbeinu Shalom about refuah, you're opening up the tzina of refuah. It's onarish. It's like asking someone, a bocha asks, "Can I come eat by your suda?" And another friend also, and like by the fourth friend, it's like uncomfortable. If you can find a different place, it's better. Because I told my wife, you're talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and you're like, it's fine. I don't need. I just need one. Once you open up refuah, you open up refuah. And that's why we say that's how we say. And the whole davening is supposed to be like that. That Be'er Ma'im Chaim from Sim Sholem says it also about everybody. He says once you say Sim Sholem, you say it for everybody. The Yid, you're part of Klal Yisrael, you just, the etzem fact that you're being mishtokik, that you want, and you understand where it's coming from. He's saying, we want to be close to you, we want to be Zeicha that the shefa shall come down to this world. It's everything. The Kedushas Levi, I think it's Rosh Hashanah time. Maybe it's a shtickle orange Rosh Hashanah. The Baditcha Barav, Sefer Kedushas Levi, that when the shefa comes from above, it doesn't come in the tzura of refuah. The place where it comes from doesn't have any gavan, doesn't have any color. It could be anything. When it comes lower down to this world, so okay, so it gets levusha. But when you're being ma'ored, it has everything in it. Ki bo'or pernech nasat alonu. Give us open because it has everything. Person's mind has to be open to think like that, and that's part of the Yeshua, of the Geula of the person. That when they were in a mitzukah, they weren't yet capable of getting the abundance that's bashet for them, because they were they were tense, because they were in. How do you say mitzukah? The desperate crisis. That means the whole essence was crammed, was uptight. It's not good. There's some daige, there's pachad, all the regular irrigation which a person has to fight so badly to try to think differently. But once you yourself opened up and you chap that, then you're a keli that's roy and capable of getting all kinds of shefa. That's what bitochen is supposed to do to a person. It's supposed to change you. That when you chazet bitochen, when you got into the mode of the emes, you're a new person. That's the zach. I'm not talking the same. I'm not thinking negatively. I'm a brand new person. That's the first thing that happened to me when I entered the world of bitachon. Once you enter that world, so automatically you're also going. It's not only that you calm down, you also became capable. You became a vessel that the shefa could come upon you, and then whatever has to come, whatever's basheret, could come to the person. Bitachon is supposed to do that to the person, to slowly change him around and make him capable of getting the shefa. And then the shefa itself comes. When a person learns in Chabis Alvavis that the Ruchnius, that means the person's Torah, the person's Tefila, the person's any kinds of success in being Mekayim Taryag Mitzvahs, is also supposed to be you're supposed to be practicing it only with the bitachon thoughts, the ruchnius of a person. For some people it's a chiddush. It sounds interesting. When I'm trying to earn money, I'm supposed to trust Hashem is going to help me. What I'm supposed to learn, I'm not supposed to trust, I'm supposed to sit and learn. Where's bitachon here? So after learning what we just learned, bitachon would mean that a person first of all understands that I have to come onto the Rebbeinu Shalom, because I can't understand the shtickle Gemara without Hashem. But then they chap once I'm reaching out to Hashem anyways, that He should help me understand the Gemara. So there's no limit in the world that's called the word that's called understanding. It can be much deeper. Let it do with me what learning could do with a person. Let it come along with deep understanding, with Yiras Shamayim. Everything is in there, in those words of the Gemara and the Zebazach of Tefila. If I'm a spal to be able to concentrate by davening, the reason why I'm davening to be able to concentrate is because that's my mitzukah. I feel the chisaron there. That's my problem, that's my issue right now. But once I'm reaching out to Hashem, that a certain type of avodas Hashem that I'm doing should be successful, I'm not going to be mitzam to myself that successful means lefi what I just asked for. Especially a ruchnisdige zach is noch mehr unlimited. It's not like earning more money. There's no limit. So come to this a very interesting zach. A person thinks that if they're not being matzliach in an area, let's say kas, they feel they have a temper issue. They lose it, and it's bad. So it ruins the image of the person, the self, the self-esteem of the person. It happened again. It's bizyonis. They had the children watch them. It's again and again, and then he said, "Rebbeinu, can you please help me?" You know what? If it happens, it just shouldn't be in public. It is what it is, but and as I write. But 1 second, if you're already reaching out, then you have no idea. What could come along with that? A person is verklemmt. It's more than money. A person himself is verknackt. They're like, I'm not going to make it. I don't have a good head. I'll do good with a 65, but please, I have to pass. I have to pass the test. Fakert. A person sometimes thinks that it's called Simcha La'anes. It's called Simcha. What I'm going to ask to remember a whole Shas. What am I going to be mispal for? And that means it's a very big toss. It's a very big toss. Fakert. I don't know. But du weißt was heißt Torah. You know what it means Tefila. You know what I mean. Fakert. If we're already at it, Lamadavanen. There's the space shuttles, or be'etzem, every bullet works like that. There's the top, the spitz, the head. Then it's connected to a long piece that goes along with it, because that's where the thrust, the fuel, that's where it is. Now what happens is that once it leaves the atmosphere, that falls down. You don't need it anymore. When a person has a mitzukah, the mitzukah is the fuel. The problem that you have That's the field to get you to daven. Once you leave the atmosphere, you don't need that anymore. Very stark and akud. It pushed you to reach out. Once you reached out, because the korosi is by Menametza, but Anon is by Mercha, because that's how it works. That's how it works. So if you believe in Tefila, it wouldn't make any sense you should believe that my Tefila that I just asked for specifically, that was answered. Like, no. If I believe in Tefila, I understand it a little bit deeper. I want to explain that what I just said. It's very important. People feel that Kabbalas Tefillah means I davened for something, 5 minutes later I got a phone call, it was done. What means Kamat Kabbalas Tefillah? It took a week. And it wasn't exactly what I said, but anyways, you know what Hashem is so good, so fine. Okay. That was like B'diavad. What means Hashem saying no, or all this type, whatever? That means that I davened for something. Ich weiß noch nicht exactly how it worked out, but somebody told me that sometimes Hashem takes my tefillas for A and puts it for B. Again, I wouldn't want that to happen, but Hashem sometimes does that. So I did see a lot of success in different areas here. But I'll be honest, ich darf was do. I need my tefillas to work. So be'em is verkehrt. Be'em is verkehrt. If I'm embarrassed to ask a big oisha, a big gvir, I'm embarrassed to ask what I really need. I go and I try my luck, but I don't want to overdo it. So I come and I say, "Mutchen sich for Yontif. If you could give me a little bit of help, just shtickle. If you give me a little nadova." In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, and if he's going to help me for Yontif, so I'll push through for another few hours. It's a big mess. It's like going through his mind. I wish he asks me, "What's going on? Come to me. I want to talk to you." And I see it's not for Yontif. In the back of my mind, but so I tell him, I need the groceries today for shop for now. So he tells me, okay, so I'll give you the groceries for now. It's a sad zach. You know why? You had exactly Kabbalas Tefillas. You asked him to pay the grocery, he paid the grocery bill. Shoot. I wanted to ask him to pay the grocery bill. I was hoping he's going to open up a conversation with me. Kabbalas Tefillas, you asked for something, and the Rebbeinu Shem is saying, "Come here, Tzaddik. What's going on?" That's the real Kabbalas Tefillas, because the Rebbeinu Shem wants to help you. It's the easiest thing theoretically for the Eibush to say, "What do you ask for? What do you need? $100? Take $100 and get out of here." But that's a schwache Kabbalas Tefillas, because ich hatte geämpft your language. I answered you the fee the way you're explaining it. But I see that the big. I want to help you. So it's deeper. It's broader. I want to take care of the whole part. Give me all your choives. You know those real askanim. I want to have all your bank statements. Let me see the picture. Let's work on the core. The Eibush Be'emes, this is such a hav that the Rebbeinu Shem has, and the Eibush is Ein Sof, that it's always going to be like that. It's a nes. It's a chiddush when it's the other way. It's not supposed to be the other way. For some reason, I'm all kanzayin. It's not supposed to be like that. The Eibush, you reached out, so the Eibush says, "What should I do? You reached out. I should just ignore you. I should be malamai, and you reached out. So let me take care of it. I'm all a simon from here. What you need to fix. There's a big situation going on, and you're going to have to wait a little bit." Which usually it's many of them that add up together, but that's Kabbalas Tefillas. And once again, a person is begging for Yeshua Ruchnius, and this is something very painful and deep, especially if a person is struggling with Sur Meirah. It's painful. The begging and being mispal, and there's that moment azat tiefe Zerbrochenkeit, depression, mamish deep. Rebbeinu Shalom, what am I asking for? What am I asking for? I want to be El Chayid. It's not working. I'm asking for years. It's a very big shaila. If it will be an apartment, even if it will be a person asking for children, Zogan, it's Basher, then Shoma, but the person is powerful for the Rebbeinu Shalom to be able to be Mekayim, shouldn't be Nichshel, and this lois that lois. And they're really diving, and they know that they mean it from the bottom of their heart. Okay, they have a hergel, but that's what they're asking the Rebbeinu Shalom. They're addicted, they have habits and Sachen. Aber ich kenne Shalens. And they're thinking to themselves, why am I not being answered? Why? And is the deep answer. If the tachas of the person is something deeper, if the pshat is that a person is supposed to come back from a further place, something that is a longer journey that's meant for this neshama. The Rebbeinu was listening to the Tefilas, and it was be'emes imanech v'tzora, but the time still didn't come because it's a bigger picture. Let me explain that. Yidden are mispalled to get out of Mitzrayim. Moshe Rabbeinu gets a yediyah from the Rebbeinu Shalom and Nevuah. Okay, the sneh, we're going to work on it. Then, the last few psukim of Parashat Shmois are not very pleasant. Not very pleasant, b'chlal. The tension is in the ear. If you got what's happening, it's a be'emes emotional. This is pain. And after everything, tichba da'avoida. The matzah became much worse. It's going on for years. When we're saying the matzah is worse, it means the matzah was worse. People were dying. The ruchnis, the ashmis, was bad, and it got worse. After waiting, it got worse. And Moshe Rabbeinu tells the Rebbeinu Shalom, why did he send me? What's the point? I thought you spoke to me, you told me that you want to take the Yidden from Mitzrayim. And the Rebbeinu Shalom had a time on Moshe Rabbeinu. Why don't you understand that it's part of the picture? They have to get to another bottom of the barrel to be able to be malam more churches, and then it's going to happen. Once it happens, it happened. Even if it takes so long, we should get there. And sometimes it's chait. Sometimes it's matzavim that are unbearable. But the Rebbeinu Shalom knows that you have to go through this, and still go through this, and still go through this, and time didn't come. The Eibusher could comfort in between, and the Eibusher could help the person be so elevated that they're in a good matzav, but still what has to happen sometimes takes time. So that's again. So the Eibusher is answering you the bigger picture. There's a bigger picture. If you look back, the person sees it's a nezah that shidduch didn't happen. Zel bezach is an avodas Hashem from the person. It's a nest that the person struggled. They wouldn't have struggled. They would have never gotten to where they got. They would have never understood. They would have never got the anov and the bittul numerous toyelis and avodas Hashem which need to happen. And they have to go through this. Reb Shalom Ortach Rubashkin soll sein gesund. He was having bitochen, he was davening, he was steiging, and the matzah was getting worse and worse and worse and worse. This didn't work out, and that didn't work out, and nothing doing. And his Yeshua came after the last option that was still around, the last one. A few hours later, the nest was bigger, the bitochen was bigger, the kiddush Hashem was bigger, the steiging was bigger. No, it's something that we all experienced, and it's mamish tangible to see, even though there are many different cheshbonos also that we don't know, but something that's mitzias, it's a fact. Thousands and thousands of Yidden got clarity. Visa koktois. How does it look? What does it mean when something schleps for so long? Or what does it mean when there's no hope anymore? So, when a person in Ruchnis also doesn't seem to feel Kabbalas HaTfilas, there's Kabbalas HaTfilas there. So don't give up. And don't be mitzamtzem your tefillah. understand that you're being answered, you're being answered. It's another touch. Chavkavei Hashem, Chazak v'yamas tebecha v'kavei Hashem. So the Gemara, you didn't get answered, Yachzav Yispal. So we think, maybe there's an amount of tefillas, divide it not. If you have another few tefillas like V'es Chanan, then that's what's going to happen. Another touch. You're being answered. It's already happening. Now, in order for you to keep that shefa going, do bleiben in the matzah from tefillah. Don't now turn somewhere else or give up. No, Yachzav Yispal, you could continue. You know, sometimes they sing by a chuppah, and it takes long for the kala to come out, and they're singing koyachse for the fourth time. The uncle's there, but they're going around. They're just again. They say again. Pshat says, "Oh, it's a chuppah. The kala's coming. You keep on singing. Don't now. What are you going to do? It's coming. It's a Havana. We need to hold on tight. How they should give him the koiches and the clarity."